Mama Dog was acting particularly strange tonight. The puppies were eating their meals peacefully, yet she barked loudly and chased them all into the doghouse. One puppy hadn't even finished eating before she picked it up by the scruff and carried it inside. Once she made sure her babies were safe, she raced straight to the window and barked furiously inside, as if warning her owners of danger. At first, the grandfather and granddaughter inside paid no attention. Then the grandfather noticed in terror that the glass on the table was shaking violently. The dog's barking grew more urgent by the second, but in an instant, she was thrown aside. The next thing they knew, the window shattered. The entire room spun violently. By then, it was too late to run. Just before the heavy cabinet came crashing down, the grandfather only had time to shield his granddaughter with his body. After wave of aftershocks, the place lay in complete ruins. The dog was frantic with worry. She dug madly at the rubble, trying to reach her owners. She dug all through the night until dawn. Her paws were already stained red with blood. Seeing this, the puppies joined in too. But even so, she could not get anywhere near her trapped owners. Just then, the dog caught a strange scent. It was as if she'd found hope. Without wasting a second, she raced toward the source of the smell. Sure enough, two rescue workers were not far away. Unable to speak, the dog could only bark at them repeatedly. But the rescuers didn't understand, and simply tried to shoo the playful-looking dog away. The dog grew desperate. Luckily, she thought quickly, and clamped her jaws firmly onto one rescuer's clothing. Only then did they realize something was wrong. Her determined eyes said it all. The rescuers told the dog to lead the way. She immediately sprinted toward her owners, with the two men close behind. At last, they reached the site. Being professionals, they quickly located the trapped pair. With their help, the grandfather and granddaughter were pulled to safety. By then, a rescue helicopter had arrived, but the air currents below were extremely unstable, so the helicopter hovered in midair and dropped a rescue rope. They lifted the injured grandfather up first, then the little girl. But the girl suddenly realized something was wrong. If she went up, what would happen to the dogs? She begged the rescuers to take the dogs too. The poor dogs left the rescuers with a difficult choice. Meanwhile, shouts kept coming from above. The grandfather was losing a lot of blood, and they had to evacuate immediately, or his life would be in danger. That meant they had no choice but to leave the dogs behind. And so, the little girl was lifted into the helicopter amid heart-wrenching screams. Watching her beloved owner drift farther and farther away, the dog could only bark non-stop. She thought her owner had simply forgotten her by accident. Even after the helicopter vanished, she refused to believe her family had abandoned her. She chased after it with all her strength. Up in the helicopter, the little girl cried uncontrollably, completely helpless. No matter how hard the dog ran, she could not catch up. In the end, she could only stand frozen in place, watching the helicopter disappear into the distance. Though heartbroken, the dog still believed her owners would come back for her, so she waited quietly with her puppies in front of their ruined home. But amid the ruins, they not only struggled to find food, but also faced constant danger from aftershocks. When she saw her puppies gnawing on wooden planks out of hunger, the dog had no choice but to search the rubble for luck. Thankfully, fate did not abandon them. She found half a bag of dog food, but before she could celebrate, she spotted danger. Her puppies were being harassed by a group of crows. As a mother, she charged over at once. During the scuffle, a crow scratched her, drawing blood, but her fierce maternal instinct kept her from backing down even an inch. The crows were eventually chased away, yet the dog felt no joy. She knew far greater dangers lay ahead. To fill her puppies' bellies, the starving mother dog gave all the dog food to her young, but it was nowhere near enough. For growing puppies, the dog had to find another way. She crouched low, ready to pounce, hoping to catch some wild pigeons nearby, but she was already exhausted, and couldn't get anywhere near them. The dog turned back to the ruins. She found a refrigerator, and after struggling for a long time, finally pried the door open. But once inside, she became trapped. After much wriggling, the fridge tipped over, breaking the door open. Even so, she only found a single sausage. The puppies devoured it in seconds. To make matters worse, heavy rain poured down that night. Homeless, they could only huddle under the rubble, trembling with cold. The dog knew full well that if things stayed this way, they would never live long enough for her owners to return. If her owners wouldn't come to her, she would go find them. And so, one day, the dog picked up the toy ball her little owner had given her, and set off with her puppies. They followed the familiar path, crossed the old bridge filled with memories, and reached a meadow, the place where she once played with her family. Mary found comfort in this, easing her longing for her owners. Perhaps it was divine mercy. The severe disaster in Mary's village was covered on television news. The dog was even featured in the newspaper. When Ami saw the report, she knew Mary was still there, waiting for her. She rushed to her brother, and told him everything. The newspaper also said that if it rained again, the village would be completely flooded, and Mary would die. Ami cried in panic. Her brother, feeling sorry for her, made a bold decision. He would go save Mary alone, but Ami insisted on going with him, her voice firm and unshakable. Her brother had no choice but to take her along. Little did they know, the journey ahead was full of danger. Before even leaving the safe zone, they were stopped. Police guarded the exit, so the siblings had to take a mountain path. But misfortune struck again. Heavy rain suddenly poured from the sky. The mountain trail turned dangerously slippery. One wrong step and they would fall. The siblings were covered in mud. Worse was still to come. The mountain began to shake, and rocks tumbled down toward them. Thankfully, the brother reacted quickly, and pulled his sister to safety. As they prepared to continue, the little girl suddenly cried out in pain. Her brother took off her shoe, and saw her toe was bleeding from walking so far. His heart ached. He let her climb onto his back. In that moment, his small frame seemed incredibly strong. Gritting his teeth, He trudged heavily toward Mary, but another accident happened. The girl's shoe slipped and fell off the cliff. The brother took off his own sock and put it on her, but the girl was too weak. She couldn't stand the harsh conditions, developed a fever, and fainted. Meanwhile, back in the safe zone, their parents finally noticed they were gone. Realizing they must have returned to the village for Mary, the father rushed out to search for them at once. He asked the checkpoint staff, but they hadn't seen them. The father guessed the siblings had taken the mountain path. He called out as he walked, resting on a wooden bridge when tired. Suddenly, he spotted something. He rushed over and picked it up. It was his daughter's sock, stained with blood. Panic-stricken, he searched frantically for the children, falling countless times along the way. Then he saw a light in the distance. Thinking the siblings might be there, he ran toward it. He found a small house, opened the door, and sure enough, there they were. The brother was shocked to see him, and quickly told their father that his sister had a fever. The father gently felt her forehead, and confirmed she was burning up. He prepared to carry her back for treatment, but the brother refused to move. He said they hadn't found Mary yet, and he could still walk. He was going back to look for her. The father flew into a rage, but the boy's tone was unyielding. He would go even if it killed him. The father blocked his way, and shoved him to the ground. The boy roared angrily, insisting he had to go. The father slapped him hard across the face. In the father's eyes, he had done nothing wrong. He only wanted to protect his children. The father brought the siblings back to the safe zone. Ami received medical treatment right away. Father and son lay in bed and spoke from the heart. The father apologized to his son for the slap. The next day, good news reached the safe zone. Each family could send one representative on a special flight to see their hometown, but only for 1 hour. Since their father was a village official, he could bring one extra family member. Kind officers gave this chance to Ami. A sympathetic villager also gave up his spot for the brother. Aboard the helicopter, the siblings remembered the day they first met Mary. Mary had been abandoned by her previous owner. The little sister wanted to adopt her, but the brother strongly objected. Their father was terrified of dogs. The girl was obedient, and turned to walk home with her brother. But to their surprise, Mary followed them the whole way. No matter where they went, Mary stayed close behind, as if she had already chosen them as her family. The little girl was overjoyed, and determined to keep her. But first, they had to win their father over. So the girl came up with a plan. She asked her grandfather for a birthday gift, and he promised to grant her any wish. But when he saw Mary, the grandfather was stunned. Yet he had given his word. Helplessly, he carried Mary home, scaring their father so badly he screamed. And so, Mary became part of the family. The siblings often took Mary to play in the meadow, their secret base. Time passed. The father went from being afraid to accepting Mary. Mary grew from a tiny puppy into a mother of 3. They thought life would stay perfect forever, until the sudden earthquake tore them cruelly apart. Now the village was flooded, and Mary's fate was unknown. As soon as the 3 of them stepped off the helicopter, they rushed to their destroyed home, and called out Mary's name at the top of their lungs. But no matter how loud they shouted, there was no reply. The little sister's face filled with worry. Suddenly, she thought of a place, and sprinted into the distance. She ran all the way, crossing the mountain trail, until she reached their old secret base. She searched again and again, but Mary was nowhere to be found. She knew Mary might be gone. A wave of guilt washed over her. Her father pulled her into his arms, and gently comforted her. Then a soft, young bark reached their ears. It was one of Mary's puppies. The little girl threw herself toward it. Just then, Mary's other 2 puppies appeared too. They were all alive, but Mary was still missing. The girl shouted with all her strength, but still no answer. This time, she fell into complete despair. Just as her father was about to comfort her, he spotted something in the distance. A dirty, thin dog limped slowly toward them. It was Mary. The little girl rushed forward at once. Girl and dog ran into each other's arms. After days of suffering, Mary had finally waited for her owners. The girl cried bitterly, and Mary shed tears too.